Hello, YouTube. Remember me? Also, this is apparently like the first time I've talked all day because I didn't realize my voice was going out. This is really great on the day I decided to film a video. Anyways, I'm sure you can gather from the title here, I'm gonna start doing these videos a little bit about like where I've been and my suggestions on what to do in those cities I've been to. One of the ones that I think I really wish we had known more about, we kind of collected information as we went. Like Uber drivers gave us really good advice on places to go and things like that. So we kind of like gathered some thoughts and stuff when we went. But in Toronto, Canada, we're gonna talk a little bit about what you could do there. You know, if you're there for a day or two or a couple days, to see a little bit of the cool stuff in the city. So my number one thing to do is the CN Tower. Now this is a huge tower in Toronto. It is known because people will actually go up on the tower and then lay out. Now when we went, it was freezing cold, so anything that was in the outside portion of the tower was closed, unfortunately. But it was really an awesome view. But I loved seeing the CN Tower. That was like your typical tourist thing. All around the tower they had different things. I believe it was like Ripley's Believe It or Not and an aquarium, things like that. So you have your typical touristy things in that little area. So really awesome. We also ate our dinner right outside there too at a pizza place that ended up being really good. So that is the number one thing I recommend if you're going to Toronto, is you gotta do the tower. Number two on my list is actually Kensington Market. It's kind of like a, I was trying to think of a market to compare it to in the US. I mean, if anybody's ever heard of Little Five in Atlanta, but it's like a small strip of like little shops and everything, and they're like little shops, like little tiny doors that you go in and stuff like that. And this stuff was just really pretty to see. I love seeing all the different shops. We went into a coffee shop and I can't remember where, and that's where I got my mug for the trip because I always get a mug everywhere I go. It says Kensington Market. It would be really cool if it was a little bit warmer. I bet you could get some really cool photos, but we did a lot of photos with like the walls and stuff there because of course, like walls of Toronto, you know. There's another market we went to a different day called the St. Lawrence Market. Now I kind of recommend this one if you're just going to like, I don't know, get some photos maybe and grab something to eat because they do have a lot of restaurants. However, it was kind of like one of those markets that were like food. So like you went in, there was like a stall that was like cheese and you buy a bunch of cheese to go home and bake with and stuff. And they had meats everywhere. There was just like a meat market here, meat market here. There was fish markets all around. So it's kind of one of those like open air markets where it just had all kinds of different food that you go buy to cook. Another big touristy thing in Toronto is they of course have the Toronto sign. I mean, it's kind of just like out in the open. When we went, there was an ice skating rink right there. It was just freezing cold, so we ended up not ice skating. But this Toronto sign was really pretty and I feel like it's kind of like an essential thing to go see. Also, Tim Hortons. Now, I put this on the list, but like you could go anywhere in Canada. I believe New York has it, even the US. But Tim Hortons is like what fueled us through that trip. We had so many donuts and so much coffee, and their white hot chocolate is delicious. But definitely go to Tim Hortons. I like survive off of Tim Hortons. I actually recommend going over to Chinatown as well. We walked around there and it was pretty late at night when we were there. But we went to a Asian food place and I'm sitting here trying to think of the name of it. It was something Legend. I'm gonna try to look it up, and if I find it, I'm gonna put it on the screen here. But it was so good. They had soup dumplings, and that's why we went there, because Amelia really wanted soup dumplings. Changed my life, so like all I do is dream about soup dumplings now, which is great. They had lots of cute little shops and actually tons that had souvenirs and stuff, which you have to get like the basic souvenirs still. So, and last but not least, I actually suggest, if you can, to go to Niagara Falls from there. So they have tons of buses. You can actually usually take an Uber for the same price that you would take the train. That will take you down to Niagara Falls from there. It's about an hour and a half, I believe, or an hour ride to Niagara Falls, which is why we were unable to do it. But I highly recommend making your way to Niagara Falls. So that's some of my top things I suggest you do in Toronto. I mean, on top of that, we ate at tons of delicious places. We got to spend time at the Disney Cruise Line office, which was really unique, I know, because Emily is over there right now training for her new role, so she was able to let us in. And that's pretty much the reason why we went to Toronto. However, Toronto was beautiful, and I bet it's beautiful during the summer, and it would be really fun, or even the fall when it's just like the leaves changing and not quite like 0 degrees outside. But yeah, so that is a little bit about our trip to Toronto. Let me know if you have any questions about anything else I can talk about there. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching the video, a little bit about Toronto, Canada, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!